Aloha and welcome back to our channel. I know we've been missing for a bit,
Alahos.
but there's been a lot of stuff's happening personally. But basically, I want to say we got evicted from our home, not the shop. We have the shop, we're sitting in front of it. Came here this morning to get move some stuffs
Selling
from,
stuffs today.
yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to make this story as short as possible, but I may not be able to. So I lived in that house for 54 years. Throughout the years, things went wrong with the house, but the very beginning was after about 1-2 years of living in the house. We were originally from Honolulu, moved here, and the ceiling came down in the kitchen. So we did notify the landlord and they refused to fix. So my mom found someone, a friend of hers, that they came and they put a ceiling up, and they did say, see, the whole house, it's tin roofs and it leaks. So they did warn us that, the buildup of water and whatever, that the ceiling may fall again. And sure enough, it did. So we redid the ceiling 3 times in 54 years, and it came down. So we just left it. It was costing us money for it to just keep coming down because it rains, it leaks, and it gets heavy and it falls. Ceiling came down in my mom's room on her
I was in bed.
while she was in bed, the ceiling came down. I went through floors.
Walls
Few.
fell down. The kitchen
Few.
walls fell down.
Yes, the kitchen wall
One of the
went down.
bedrooms fell down. The wall fell up. We prop it up, fix it back up.
So
I enjoyed the farm living.
yeah, so
Until
Jeffrey and I met 12, 13 years ago. But then when he moved in, he started fixing. So we have couple rooms that looks pretty decent. What is that drywall you had put up and whatnot? But again, because the roofs itself, when it rains, it leaks. Eventually, things are going to happen. So, like I said, when we would call the landlord, they would say, no, we're not fixing. And then we called one time about our cesspool. The cesspool was overflowing. So they had gotten someone come up and they did whatever they had to do.
before my days.
Yeah, before Jeffrey came into my life. And after they did all that, my mom and I got a phone call from the landlord saying, if we call them one more time, which that was only 2 times that we called them in that span of time. If we called one more time, they will give us 45 days to get out. So obviously, anything that went wrong in the house, we had to find someone to fix it. So now that landlord, husband and wife, they eventually passed away. It went down to the son and daughter.
Great landlords.
Daughter didn't really, she didn't bother too much. It was, if you called her about something, she would call the brother and then get back to me. But anyway, we added rooms onto the house because it was a very tiny house. And we asked, and we were given the green light. Go ahead, just make sure you paint it green on the outside since the house was green. And that's what we did. So we added rooms, and eventually, from all the rain, again, if we have wind, the roofs would fly. I mean, it's funny because the landlord would actually call me, I'm at work, and let me know that our roofs are flying off the house. I never forget that. It's like, well, why don't you do something about it? It's your house. But anyway, yeah, it is funny.
Oh God.
So now all the years there, I had my tutu there, my mom, myself, my siblings, eventually moved out. I stayed back to help my mom to take care of my tutu and then eventually take care of my mom. I had my children, 6 children. So when I met Jeffrey, like I said, he helped to fix, and he even talked to the landlord when he would see the landlord and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and enclose the porch and whatnot. Yep, go ahead. It's on your guys' dime. And again, if you would ask, oh, there's something that need repaired, nope, not repairing. That's why we keep the rent so low. So in 2018 or 19, we decided that we can't keep spending money on somebody else's house and fix it up. So we stopped and we started looking for a house. And during that time, as everybody know, we were getting outbid. Okay, we were just allotted a certain amount, and we went to our highest that we could go to, but someone would come in with cash and buy it for 2-3 times the price. So that didn't work out. Okay, so now
We're stuck
couple
in there.
couple years ago, our landlord passed away. So his wife and daughter took over. And he still has his sister, but the wife and daughter took over. So instantly he passed away. Within a month, I could be wrong, but I know it was really quick that we got a notice of increase in rent. They were increasing the rent $300 more. Okay, mind you, now we were only paying $500. Yes, we were paying $500. And yes, you can't find anywhere to rent for $500, but you'll see in the pictures.
Why?
You would why it was $500. So they sent that letter, increase in rent. And then they sent a letter that they were going to do a walkthrough. Mind you, never had a walkthrough. Now that at that time, I'd been there 52 years. Never had a walkthrough. So I was so excited about getting the walkthrough because I thought a walkthrough means they'll look what needs to be fixed, repaired. Anyway,
Can you let them know that I tried to get you out of that house?
Oh yeah, when we first met, he did try to get me.
Offered her nice places.
Mm-hmm. He found a couple houses that could have rent and pretty reasonable and very nice, doesn't leak, but
modern.
but for me, we just met. I'm not doing that, no. So anyway, the walkthrough happened, the first walkthrough. I couldn't be there. The walkthrough was on a Saturday. What happened was my daughter had come to my house one day and she had to park up on the road because the driveway was blocked by our neighbors. They had a party going on. And when she walked down, she fell in a pothole. So the day before the walkthrough, she called me up and said her doctor said she needed to get emergency surgery on her knee. So I couldn't be there Saturday for the walkthrough. Only Jeffrey was there. I had to go down to her apartment and help, to get things set up. She has a son that's 10 years old. So
third floor.
On the third floor.
Elevator.
It's a low income apartment studio. So anyway, went down to, get groceries and help to get her laundry and whatever done before her surgery. So I wasn't there for the first walkthrough. So when I got home, I asked, how did it go? Did they see all the damage? Are we going to get it repaired? And he said, I asked, and they said, no, they're not repairing. Now they had a second walkthrough, which was only for outside because there was some metal that my ex-husband had left out somewhere. So they wanted all that to be removed. So Jeffrey removed it and they came back to check. And this time I was there. And then they said, so we're going to have to raise the rent again. And so we asked how much, and they said, oh, double. So we're like, we're going to be paying $1,600. So are you fixing? Because now, how can we pay that much in rent with a house that bad and fix it? I mean, buy the material, we got to spend our money to buy the material, possibly pay someone to help us to fix it, which he did have a couple guys help fix when you did the bedrooms.
Yes. These people have about 30 houses like this, all shacks, tents, whatever you want to call it, dilapidated slums. So you figure if that's fair or not. And they're outpricing us out of a slum, but it's okay. We already want it out of there.
Yeah, we want it out of there, but we was, hoping it'll be when we could find a place. And everybody knows right now it's not a good time. Interest rates are super high. And so we were just, doing what we could, just trying to survive. But so anyway, let's see. Then they mailed us a lease, and it was a lot of pages. Usually the lease is just one page, one little paragraph, you sign, done. Well, this one was pages. So I was going through it, but when it came to the part about we were only allowed 2 cars, I freaked out because I have children. 3 of my kids live with me. And then my daughter, who got hurt in their driveway, she would have to stay with me every so often, and she had to do a spinal tap procedure and whatnot. So she had to stay with me so we could help take care of her son. So I came to that part of 2 cars. So I called them and asked for a meeting. Nothing to do with the rent. Charge me whatever you want for the rent. But I feel that you need to fix, you need to repair, you need to make sure.
Yeah? It's the law.
Right. It should be
to code.
It's unhealthy, it's unsafe, it's unsanitary. You ask them, I'm walking around with a spray bottle all day long and a rag and a vacuum and a broom, and it's constant cleaning because it's such a mess. Termites,
bug infested, rat infested.
Yep.
Whatever you want to.
Yep.
Could imagine.
The works.
Yeah. And it's a paradise.
So we had the meeting, and it was 3 of them and 3 of us down at their place, and that was my only concern. Never said anything about the amount of rent that they're charging. My concern was my kids would have to get out because you're only allowing 2 cars. And I don't give a darn if my kids are adults. Our Hawaiian culture is, as a family, we all stick together, we work together, we help each other out. We don't kick anybody out. They decide if they want to leave. And they leave, and maybe a few years later, they come back home. Home is always home. I don't hold them back from leaving. So that was my only concern. So they said, no, we're not kicking any of the kids out, but that is a lot of cars okay, well, we have a long driveway. I don't understand what it's doing to your road when there's huge trucks with tons in the back of the truck going up and down the road. That's what's giving the potholes. It's not our little tiny cars. Okay, now our Turos was another issue. I never parked my Turos when we started Turo. We parked it somewhere else and paid that person to park our cars in their parking lot. The only time we took the Turos home was to clean, and we never used the water to clean. It was waterless car wash that we used to clean the car. And as soon as we're done cleaning, we take it and park it. So I don't know what the issue was about that either. I mean, for me, I would think they would feel like, okay, they're doing something more to make sure the rent does get paid. So before we left, when it came to an agreement, okay, my kid's not getting kicked out. My daughter did say, you know what, you folks gonna have to revise the lease, because I know my mom, she's not going to, sign it if it has that on there. One of them said, well, just cross it out, what you don't agree with. And my daughter said, no, really, you're gonna have to revise it. And then I said, stupid me, I said, well, if it's a vocal agreement, I trust you folks, and we just walk away, it's vocal agreement. And they agreed. Nobody said, nope, gotta sign the lease. It was thank you for coming, hugs, and on our way. And I felt really good because my kid's not leaving. And again, not once did I bring up that rent you raising is too much. We did talk about repairs, and they said, nope, can't do it.
They're broke.
They're broke. 800 acres.
Yeah.
30 plus houses.
Yes, 30.
And they're broke. Okay, so now what happened is prior to April 1st, they text, we want to do another walkthrough. Okay, I mean, I didn't understand the reason, but okay. So they came on April 1st. They didn't do any walkthrough. As soon as they walked in the house, the first words out of their mouth, so Sherry, are you going to sign the lease? If not, you got to go. I was shocked. And then we brought up about repairs, and I brought up about how they would drive up and down the roads, slowing down to almost a complete stop, staring at, watching us clean the churros or counting cars, whatever they were doing. I don't know what they were doing.
Who are targets?
So, they're saying you've been paying cheap rent all these years. Yeah, because you guys wouldn't fix. Okay, all the landlords that passed away said it. We're keeping it cheap because we're not fixing. It's on you. But if you're raising the rent, shouldn't you be fixing? They just basically dumped everything on us.
Kind of weird.
So that was their third walkthrough. They didn't look through the house, nothing. They just threatened. Sign the lease or you got to go. Now, I had my younger daughter, baby girl, she started crying. I cried too, because it was, I felt threatened. I felt belittled. I mean, just, they have this power and this control to, I don't get it. But anyway, so hubby here said, just sign it, just sign it. So I asked, can I finish looking through it and I will give it to them in the day? Just let me look through it. Nope. Sign it or go. So I signed it, gave it to them. Then we got another letter in September, maybe? September, October, our rent going up again. Everybody, not just us, all the tenants, okay? There's one tenant that was told, as soon as your mom dies, you need to get out. Yeah. Another tenant was told, we're going to move you out for a little bit and fix the place up and get you back in. They didn't bring them back in. Yeah. There was another tenant, her husband just passed away. 2 weeks later, they get her and the kids get a letter that they need to be out by December 1st. This month, December 1st. How heartless is that? So anyway, we got the letter, rent going up, $100 more starting January. Okay, whatever. We're still looking, trying to find a place, and it's really hard. Now, November, I was in the room getting ready to come to the shop to post on eBay and stuff, and my grandson was there, my two daughters, and then we have few little dogs, Pomeranian dogs, and they started barking. So that bark was a bark like someone is there. So I asked baby girl, to get them to quiet. And she threw her arms up and I was, what's going on? And then all I heard is someone saying, there's hunters and dogs killing pigs. Now we got wild pigs running around. Okay, now that's another story because when they came for their second walkthrough, we had goats. Hubby had goats. Now these are goats from the wild, came to us, and they stayed, never left. And yes, hubby started feeding them and whatnot, named them. Yes, they had babies, the works. And then so the landlord said, we need to get rid of the goats. So hubby did. He found someone that was willing to take the goats, like what, hour and a half away from us, hour away from us, whatever. So the goats went. Everybody was heartbroken because they were pets. We had goats since we moved into that house. Now, moved there in 1969, and we already had a goat a few months later. So throughout all our years there, we always had goats. But now it was a problem. So I had to get rid of the goats. So now I asked, well, what about all these wild pigs? They're digging up the yard, they're trashing everything. Can't do anything about the wild pigs. There's nothing we can do. So on November 4th, when our dog started barking, and then, the kids, I hear my kids screaming. There was so much commotion. I could hear pigs squealing. It was noise that I've never, ever experienced before. Now I'm running out of the room, and they're saying there's hunters and dogs, and I'm yelling, where's my grandson? Because he likes to go downstairs to play with, the cat or something, whatever. So I'm yelling, where's Nizea? Where's Nizea? And then all I remember is one of the kids saying, go into Quentin's room. So when I walked into my son's room, I see my grandson standing by the window looking out with tears coming down his eyes. Yes, I felt relief. My grandson is safe. I looked out the window. There was four or five young boys and 4 or 5 dogs getting after a pig. I really don't care. I don't want the pigs around. But they should have warned us. So I got on the phone, called the landlord. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Everybody in the house is a mess. And
the pigs scream loud.
Now, oh my God, the pigs, the dogs. Now, when I asked these boys,
7 in the morning,
what it was 7 something in the morning. When I asked these boys, what in the hell are you guys doing? And they said, our landlord told them to let the dogs up. So when I called the landlord, she's trying to say, I didn't tell them to let them go up there. Okay, well, if the dogs are smelling the scent of the pigs up at our place, they're going to come up there. All I ask is that you warn us. Now, hubby here called the cops because they're in our yard, we pay rent, and they have these hunters. And he was very worried because I was hysterical. It was horrible. Yeah, our grandson called him Papa, crying, you gotta come home, because he wasn't home. You gotta come home. There's guys and dogs killing pigs, and he could hear all the commotion in the background.
The pigs are screaming.
So he came home, he yelled at them to get the out of here and whatnot, and yes, called the cops and did a police report. And now,
For nothing.
yeah, now because of that, of course they're mad. But I could tell already from when that landlord passed away and how they were doing things that they were trying to get, because they evicted much people. Now they're not going to say evict. So when why I got my letter in the mail
From a lawyer.
is I sent them a certified letter stating all the repairs that needs to be done in the house for our health and safety reasons. So they came up with a couple guys that said that they were contractors, whatever. And I told them I'm going to videotape that. And so one was an older guy, one was a younger guy. And I kind of had a feeling this younger guy, he wasn't talking much. The older guy, you could hear a lot of wow, wow, wow. But because of how bad the place is. So maybe 2 weeks after they got that letter, and they did come up and look at what needs to be repaired. One of that young boys that was there for looking at the repairs that needed to be done came to the house, and I was home by myself, and hand delivered me the letter. And he said, "This is from the landlord." And I said, "Oh, you're the landlord's boyfriend." He just went to shake his head, yeah, and he said, "Worker." I said, "Boyfriend."
We've seen them at Costas together.
Sure enough, we seen them together. I'm not stupid. I may look dumb, but I ain't stupid.
Total liars.
Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, I don't think these guys were even contractors. I think they're just friends. I don't know, but whatever. So the letter said we have 45 days. So January 8th, we have to be out. So that's why we've been not putting videos out, because there's 54 years of stuffs that's under the house. I mean, I know the wild pigs had damaged a whole lot of things underneath one part of the house, and the list goes on. And so we really don't have time to look through stuffs. It's just grab and go for me. I'm saying, you know what? 45 days is going to come fast. So 2.5 weeks of getting stuffs out of the house. The last 2.5 weeks, throw everything away. So if anybody follows me on eBay, I took down over 300 items because I have a lot of stuffs that I have on eBay that is at home. I took everything down because right now everybody's just throwing things in tubs or garbage bags, and so the shop really has a pile and a half. Now, as for living situation, we're still looking.
A lot of treasure.
Yeah, there is a lot of treasure. So we got a couple of the kids, they're taken care of. They got somewhere they can go. Now, my other kids that live on their own, they live in low income. So they can't have anyone stay with them. Plus, it's studio. So there's really no room. So anyway, I just want to make sure that my kids, adult or not, that they taken care of first. My niece had called me a week ago and said, "Auntie, she has an enclosed garage. She said, I'm going to clean out the garage, put an AC in there for you and Uncle, that you guys can stay in there." I didn't tell her yes. I didn't tell her no. We're just hoping that we could find something that's close where we can come to work at the shop, but it is what it is. So I don't know, sleep in the car. I don't know. We're houseless, but we're not homeless, because no matter if we're living in a car or in a cardboard box, as long as we are all together as a family, that's our home. So we are houseless, not homeless. We're trying to figure out our rights as tenants. What they're doing is, for me, it's just illegal. But you know, they're people with deep pockets, so they can get all these attorneys and everything can be worded different, and we don't have deep pockets. And right now I haven't posted anything on eBay since, well, maybe 2 items, because I'm walking in circles. I'm at home and I'm trying to pack things up. And then it's so hard because you have sentimental things that you just end up throwing away, you know. Hubby would say, go get that out of the trash. You would never throw that away, but I don't know what to do. So we're running out of time and we have to get that house emptied the best we can. I'm not going to ask for an extension. And they should know 45 days is not enough for someone that lived there for 54 years. Because basically what they're doing is they evicted a lot of their tenants, all local tenants. And then they're putting immigrants into the houses. What they're doing is having these guys pay rent, fix the house, and work on the property, the land, farm. I don't know, whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but I know it's not right. So anyway, just wanted to share why you folks haven't been seeing any videos. But I do have videos, you know, prior to all this, we did have auctions and I have videos, and we will get it out there eventually. In the meantime, I'll show you folks some videos and pictures of the house that they kept raising rent up. Oh, and in that termination, the letter from the attorneys is termination of lease. And they're going to remodel the house. But you tell me if you think this house can be remodeled. And remember now, all the other houses look like this too. So right now, I'm at home, soon to be not our home, but this is just one room that we're trying to get things packed up, as you can see. This room had a lot of eBay stuff listed, this room and another room. So I had to take everything down, but there's a lot to still get packed up or just grab and go. This is really hard. It's tough. A lot of this stuff's will have to go to the dump. There's no time to even donate. When you know, when you try to donate things, they want to look through it to see what they want and don't want, and we have really no time for that. So a lot of stuffs will just be dumped, but it's okay. It's just stuff. I know it's money, but even that at this point don't matter anymore. It does, because we've been behind on selling things, and because we're focusing on getting the house empty since we only have till January 8th. And remember now, 54 years of stuff, 5 generations of stuff. But I forgot to add in that all this 30 plus houses that this landlord has is all unpermitted and all not up to code. How they're getting away with it, I'm not sure, but I know something needs to be done. Something absolutely needs to be done. And remember now, they own from the mountain down to the ocean. Beautiful beach house. I've never been down there, but other people have, and they showed us pictures. There's a lot of illegal stuffs going on with them, and it will come to light. It will come to light. I'm not angry because we have to get out of this house. It's time. This house is just falling apart around us. I'm not angry about that. I'm angry about them harassing me, threatening me, belittling me. They tried pushing us out when they first took over. They tried everything to make our lives unhappy so that we would get out and they could do whatever they wanted to do, put whoever they wanted to put in here. We're not dumb. Not dumb. We know what they were doing, what they were up to. So asking for repairs gave them that opportunity now to terminate lease, which I still say it's an eviction. Anyway, just wanted to show you folks. That's just one room. Many of rooms because a lot of unpermitted additions were added on. So many more rooms to go. But anyway, watch the videos, look at the pictures, and we'll see you soon. Look at that. It's a big hole right through. And every single one of their homes should be condemned, completely knocked down. There's no such thing as remodeling.
And they know it. Again, it will come to light.
So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Mahalo.